A pair of rescue puppies abandoned by their adopter, resulting in one puppy dead and another with a broken leg. It's a complex animal abuse case that authorities are learning to investigate and even prosecute. About 3 weeks ago, Chico resident Karen Aguilar rescued Duke and Mila from the side of the road as she was afraid they would be run over. A woman who wanted both puppies reached out to her to take them in, but as Aguilar was on her way to work this week,
I pass by and I just see a little black lump, and I recognize the little stubby tail because Duke didn't have a tail, he just had a little stub.
she discovered the male puppy lying on the road near the Jigo fire station.
I ran to him, picked him up, and he let out a whimper. So I don't know how long he'd been there, but it was raining. He got hit. His legs were mangled. His body was bloody. And he was struggling to breathe.
She reached out to the adopter, who admitted she abandoned the puppies outside of a Jigo apartment just a day after taking them in. Duke had to be humanely euthanized to end his suffering at Guam Animals in Need. Meanwhile, his sister Mila was found with a broken leg. Still, Aguilar says Guam police refused to allow her to file a report, saying she had no proof.
They told me I basically had no case because it was a boony dog and we didn't have a contract stating that the dog was hers, even though I have multiple messages, which I'm sure you've seen circulating around where she takes ownership of the dog and she says that yes, she did abandon them. Yeah, at this point I just don't know what to do, and I just think that we need better or more clear laws as to what constitutes as animal abuse.
Territorial veterinarian Dr. Mariana Turner says Guam's animal cruelty laws are strong. The gap, she says, is in the enforcement and training.
The precinct that this issue went to, where they reported it, there was some misinformation that went out, and they were handling that internally. I was just talking to one of the GPD officers about that as well, and so they're trying to correct the gap that was in the knowledge. And then, of course, this training is a huge gap in the knowledge between what animal control officers know and then what our GPD officers know.
Police officers, animal control, gain staff, and employees with the Attorney General's office learning to shore up that gap. From Humane World for Animals expert Adam Parascandola.
The first part is just understanding the law and what the components of the law are here in Guam, as well as we do talk about the way that animal cruelty is connected with other forms of violence, like violence against people, domestic violence, child abuse, other forms of violent crime. And then once we kind of establish that, then we work through how to investigate animal cruelty, what are the signs to look for.
As to this case, he agrees it should be looked into.
And I would say that at the very least, what you would hope to see is that then the police department would go out and interview this adopter and see if she tells them the same thing, that she abandoned, she decided she couldn't keep them and she dumped essentially these dogs, which is abandoning them, which is a violation of the law very clearly.
Animal Control is investigating the case. Matsuki Hirayama, KUEM News.